Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I am John, and today I'm going to talk about Blast. So Blast is going to have an airdrop on May, and to make the best out of it, you need to start now. In this video I'm going to show you my strategy, how I'm currently farming, and how you can do it too. So without further ado, let's dig into it. So, to start out, we need to understand what is Blast. So Blast is an Ethereum layer 2. So to deposit on Blast, you gotta go here, bridge, deposit, and select the amount you want. For this strategy, there is not a minimum amount required. You can also follow it with like 0.1, even less. Anyway, let's go back to the airdrop section so we can understand how points are distributed, because there are 2 points, so the Blast Gold and the normal points. And if you see on your docs, 50% is going to the Blast points and 50% to the Blast Gold. Both are basically based on the utilization of the apps and the amount you put in. There is also a referral system. You will need a code to join Blast. You will find mine in the first comment pinned. But now let's go back to the home page and understand the dApps that are here. Remember that the majority of points will be allocated to dApps with major TVL. An example is Orbit. Another could be Wasabi, just because I know that there are a lot of money locked there. And to start with the strategy that I'm using, I'm gonna go on Orbit. So if you go on orbitlanding.io, you will see that this is a lending protocol. Okay, the first lending protocol on Blast with, at the moment that I'm recording, more than 600 million TVL, which is huge if we compare it to the TVL on Blast, which is 2.6 billion. Okay, it's actually the 10% of the TVL there. It's pretty huge, and I suggest to start from here. Okay, so our strategy will be depositing and borrowing assets on various platforms, on various dApps. So with the same amount of Ethereum, we could farm multiple apps and reducing our risk, because again guys, you need to do your own research. Nothing I'm going to say is financial advice. These platforms can be hacked, and as an example, the recent Munchables hack, if you see here, has raised a lot of concerns about all of these kind of dApps. So to split my risk, I'm going to again supplying and borrowing liquidity. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. So first of all, if we go on dashboard, you can see my deposit. So I deposited INIT and I borrowed like 7, okay? So basically I'm going to end up with a negative APR, meaning that in the long term, I'm gonna lose money. But the gamble here is that the small portion of the points I'm losing will be worth less than the airdrop itself on May. Okay, so this is basically the bet I'm taking. So now let's go back to the practice. Okay, so to do that, so you gotta click here on supply. So I'm gonna, for example, supply 0.05, clicking supply hit, and I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to change my loan to value. Okay, as you can see here. And as a general rule, I suggest to avoid going above the 70% of LTV, loan to value, okay? And this is because you are under a severe risk of liquidation if loan to value goes above 80%, meaning if you deposit 1 ETH and you borrow 0.8, you will be basically really near liquidation, and that's not good, okay? We want to stay on a level around the 70% maximum. 60 would be best. So let's just take, as an example, I'm going to deposit 1 ETH, okay? I'm going to click here on supply it. Again, I'm not gonna do that. You will have to enable collateral so you can borrow money. And then you gotta click here, you borrow. And in this case, again, I borrowed the 70%. Okay, so I borrowed 7 ETH by depositing 10, and even USDB, I deposited 26K and I borrowed 17K. Okay, and now that we have deposited on our first dApp, which is again the one with the majority of TVL. Okay, so if you find any dApp that has more TVL than Orbit, and maybe check their audit if they are secure, if they've been audited, okay? Then you can go for it. But at the moment, I believe this is the best bet. And if you are enjoying the content, remember I got a Discord down below. You can click the link in the description. Check it out because there are a lot of helpful content. And now let's go back to the video. And with the money I borrowed from Orbit, I put them into INIT Capital. So basically, INIT Capital is another lending protocol. If I go on dashboard and I click here, manage position, I can see the amount I deposited and borrowed. So basically I deposited 7 ETH, which is again the same amount I borrowed from Orbit, and then I borrowed even here for ETH. Then with this capital, I put it into Zero Land, which has an airdrop, another one of their token Zero. So in the meantime that you're farming Blast, the points, the gold, you are also, eligible for their token. So that's not bad. And even here, same thing. I deposited for it, which was, the amount from INIT Capital. And then I borrowed 2.7. And with those 2.7, you could go on another platform such as Pac Finance, and you can do, this loop for an infinite amount of debt that you wish. For example, we have here Pac Finance, which is another debt. I'm only using USDB on this one. And instead, the ETH that are left, the 2.7, I decided to deposit it into Wasabi, which is a vault, so we aren't going to supply and borrowing again. I just deposited there, so I can get an APR, okay, which, can minimize the losses from every platform. Because of course, if you borrow, your APR will be much higher if you lend than if you lend only. I basically choose Wasabi for this reason, as a lot of the well was audited really well, in my opinion. Okay, guys, please always do your research again. And as you can see here, I deposited 2.7 ETH, which again is the amount I borrowed from Zero Land. This was the strategy I'm using to passively farm Blast. But remember that every few days you're gonna go check your protocols to see if you are close to liquidation. So especially in circumstances where we got a lot of volatility in the market, this could be bad. Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful for some of you. Maybe I just said basic stuff you didn't know. If it is the case, please let me know in the comment, because based on your feedbacks, I'm going to change the type of video. And if you liked the content, please leave a like, comment. Until the next, see you in the next video.